Probably nothing. Probably nothing. Probably nothing. Probably nothing. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see, am I right? Look, I'm not gonna pretend to be like that one friend that just pops out of nowhere with the "hey, how's it going" text after months of ghosting you. I have had some life events, I'll just say that. So I've had a bit of a creative struggle as well, but trying to jump right back into it, and I appreciate all your support and those of you who have remained on this channel and the new viewers that we've gained since I've been gone. I really appreciate y'all too. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into this new series that we're starting. Growing up Gen Z, I had an endless supply of internet to look up and access the entire filmography of basically any actor or actress that's ever been recorded. And some of these seemingly harmless thespian intrigues of mine developed arguably into concerningly obsessive. Some might further diagnose my condition as simp-worthy, but that's besides the point. My target of cinematic affection in this video is none other than HP Lovecraft enthused and Edgar Allan Poe cosplayer Jeffrey Combs, who quickly falls into the AKA associative Herbert West. Just a quick note, because of his extensive work in the Star Trek universe, I will not be including those roles in this video, but if you'd like me to cover some of my favorite Star Trek series, characters, books, etc., let me know in the comments. PSS, I won't be including any other works that have been mentioned in previous videos. And finally, while I can't say I'll include too many, I can't say this video won't be without spoilers or material that may be too disturbing or too horrifying for some viewers. So watch at your own risk, and with that, let's get to simping. Reanimator. Starting off with a 1985 B-horror movie classic based on the H.P. Lovecraft short story Herbert West's Reanimator, Jeffrey gives us a stellar performance in the lead role of recent medical school transferred Gruber protege genius Herbert West.
Herbert West.
And what can I say that hasn't been said about this film? Probably nothing! But this film is credited with kickstarting my Jeffrey Combs obsession. I think it was the glasses that really did it for me. In addition to the mildly homoerotic undertones between Bruce Abbott and Jeffrey Combs' characters, but maybe that's just me. But on a serious note, Jeffrey Combs does an excellent job in mannerism and cadence with the complex character that is Herbert West.
Doctor, it's Herbert West. What are you thinking? How do you feel? You?
Moving on to From Beyond. Now we're moving on to another Lovecraft adaptation, albeit a looser adaptation, which isn't surprising given Jeffrey Combs' intimacy with Lovecraft material. Not a problem for me. Not to mention his continued and frequent work with Barbara Crampton in Lovecraft adaptations is one of my favorite aspects of his work. I honestly love the on-screen chemistry and respect they seem to have towards one another in their films, especially in another one of Stuart Gordon's classics. What I find especially appealing about Jeffrey's role in this film is that it's almost a complete antithesis of his Herbert West character. Versatility and emotional and mental vulnerability and dependence on others is quite impressive, as Jeffrey possesses a commanding presence as an actor. Which is not to say that he takes a back seat in this role. The fact that this film was the next one of his I watched right after Reanimator, I was just very impressed by the varying degrees and depths of performance delivery that varied between the two roles. So it goes without saying that From Beyond definitely went beyond my expectations. Sorry, I had to. And continued my obsession with Mr. Combs. Moving on to Castle Freak. Now I said this was a simp video about Jeffrey Combs. Well, if you watch this so far, you might start to suspect that I might be a simp for Stuart Gordon as well. You may be somewhat correct, but not entirely. See, what defines a simp is the incredibly idiotic and seemingly pointless idolization of someone who you have no chance with IRL or otherwise, but continues at attempts to make a connection. Not to say I don't share immense respect and adoration for Mr. Gordon and his work, I just really simp for those on-screen. And speaking of on-screen work, if you've enjoyed what you've seen on screen so far, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also share this video and spread the word about why you should be a simp for Jeffrey Combs. Now back to Castle Freak. This character is probably one of the more human roles that he's played as far as just a regular guy, but if you watch the film you might disagree that he's not just a regular guy. Well, going from the genius mad scientist trope and the submissive mad scientist henchman slash assistant, I'd say in comparison, John Riley is a pretty regular guy, with of course all the tragedies attached. If you know, you know. I actually like this change of pace in character, honestly, and it showed yet another aspect in Jeffrey's acting arsenal, the display of human imperfection on a realistic level. Yeah, I'm sure somewhere there's a mad scientist who's invented a reanimating agent, or a guy who's assisting another sexually frustrated mad scientist eunuch to access another dimension where he could experience pleasure, but how many of those guys do you know? It's far more likely that you might come across a John Riley than a Dr. Pretorius. I also like the family horror perspective this film has. There are dark tragedies and secrets that exist within the family household that have been and are masked behind the nuclear family motif. I should probably mention that while this film is obviously supposed to be centralized on a castle and a freak, which it is, it's loosely based on The Outsider by Lovecraft and contains some other Lovecraft references within it. You know, I'm starting to think that I might just be a simp for H.P. Lovecraft and H.P. Lovecraft adaptations, and Jeffrey Combs just happens to star in a lot of them. Whatever. This straight-to-video feature really just made my symptom for Jeffrey Combs deepen. But seriously, I'm a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft work.
We want you to search the castle. What about this mirror?
Would you rather? Remember when Netflix was the only streaming service around? Well, I guess I sorta do. Anyway, whatever time of life you had the fortune of accessing the video streaming platform, I'm sure you know of the extensive indie horror media that was available and was consumed by kid me, barely hiding the fact that I was watching horror films way too early for my parents and falling down a binge-watching horror marathon hole that would make Screamfest jealous. Yes, Would You Rather makes the simplest. Why? Well, it's not just the fact that there's after midnight talent involved. There's also midday talent, as well as some Canadian trailer talent. I included this as a more exemplary piece of Jeffrey's modern work as opposed to anything of brilliance. You can only do so much with the writing you're given. While imperfect, I still think it's pretty good for an IFC piece, and I do appreciate the character Jeffrey portrays in this one. I kinda like when he plays the sadistic, ambitious type. He has that kind of edge. So his role in this film really works well for that, while still remaining a stickler for the rules as far as parlor games go, and have some redeeming characteristics. I appreciate that bit of depth to the character, but it's nothing groundbreaking. Like I said, it's not a terrible movie, but given the choice, I'd say I'd rather watch one of his other films. However, this never deterred my simp obsession with Jeffrey, just made me realize that sometimes you just play a part for a paycheck. Nothing wrong with that. Last one on our list, The Frighteners. Oh, Peter Jackson. Who would have thought I'd love something of yours far before I ever knew of The Lord of the Rings? This film is a standalone apart from my Jeffrey Combs obsession, but you have to admit his role in this film is, excuse the expression, iconic.
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend, and she is the moment. Now, come on now.
And I'll say it, Milton Dammers is an absolute gift to cult cinema. Eccentric, obsessed, maybe manically depressed, and definitely highly traumatized, he's the FBI agent you never wanted to be involved in your cult, and he really didn't either. You know, if I had an amended quote from a well-known series for this character, it'd definitely be, Milton, you've been in so many cults that you're starting to look like a cult leader, because this guy looks like he's been through a lot. Also, he apparently is allergic to women because, yeah, it's probably the PTSD. And here I thought it was just incels. But seriously, this character really shows how some FBI agents endure far too much in their line of work. The Frighteners produced another role for Jeffrey Combs that solidified my obsession. For now, I'll end the video here, but if you'd be interested in a continuation, I have more than enough simple reference material to make a part 2 to this video. Jeffrey Combs is a magnificent actor and has a great body of work, pun intended. He continues to be one of my favorite B-movie actor, horrors, and recurring Star Trek actors. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I promise I'll try not to be too late in content moving forward. And stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Oh, so hot, no time to rest, yeah. forsaken rest. I own the top as long as the music's loud. Everything I sit around as the world goes by. You're thinking that your focus is a case of do or die. Out there is a fortune waiting to be had. You think I let it go, you're mad. You got another thing coming.
I don't know why I got this song in my head right now.